Hello, this is Edith. How are you doing? And today I want to talk about this Nord Stream. And I hope all of you have heard about Nord Stream, this gas pipeline, natural gas pipeline from Russia to Germany. They had an original, well, the number one, Nord Stream 1, for years that provided Germany and Europe with cheap gas. And then they did build number two, Nord Stream 2, and of course America never wanted that to be built. So they tried to convince Germany or whoever built the Nord Stream to not continue with the building. And of course they also put pressure on Russia for years now not to complete Nord Stream 2. Well, but it's almost completed. I don't think they ever used it. And then, of course, the war started. And as you have maybe seen these videos that are going around with Biden saying in the spring that if Russia will attack Ukraine, that they will stop the pipeline. And a press person asked him how he's going to do that since it's in the hands of Germany and Russia. And he said, they have their ways. So, and Victoria Nuland said the same thing, that they are really interested in stopping, they were interested in stopping Nord Stream. And of course, Germany only, Russia only provided, I think, 10% lately to Germany, and Germany is not doing very well. They're struggling. They're struggling now with heating, especially this winter. The price of the gas went up triple. Gas prices are up. Everything is up. Food prices are going up. They're really struggling. I don't think they're struggling very bad yet, but wait until the winter until people pay triple for their heating. I just came back from Germany, and yeah, in Germany they have actually a rule, like an unspoken rule. It's not something that anybody gets punished for, but they say the heating period doesn't start until October. And so if you are in a rental place, it's possible that your heat is not coming on until October 1st. And my sister, I was living in a rental place for my sister, and she says, well, I'm not turning my heat on until 1st of October, with the prices being so high. So yeah, they are already having to be careful. Businesses have already closed because of the pandemic, and it will continue. Also, a lot of businesses are closing because they don't get the supplies they need, like electricians. I know from personal friends that businesses have to close because they don't get the supplies and they cannot continue doing their jobs. I'm also hearing that some of the building projects, like building buildings, had to be canceled because the prices are going up so drastically and people don't have the money to build the buildings anymore. So yeah, it's not a very good time in Germany, and I really think, the euro is pretty low. It's now 1-1, and some of you don't know what that means. But the euro actually started, when the euro was introduced, it started out 1-1 with the dollar. And then the euro actually got better and better, and only a year ago it was still 1.30. So you would get for €1 you would get $130, and that has changed. It is now 1-1, so the euro went down pretty drastically. That means they're already seeing that the euro, that Europe, the economy of Europe is getting worse. And of course, this winter, with the prices going up like this, and they don't know how in the world they're going to make it, it's going to get, of course, worse. And it's going to get worse not for Germany only, but for Europe. They're all in the same kind of thing, because they did depend on this cheap gas from Russia. And of course, the United States has already said, oh, we're going to help. And there's also, the day before they exploded this pipeline, they already finished a pipeline from Norway that only brings about 1/10 of the natural gas to Germany. So they do have something. I don't think they're going to freeze, but it's going to get tough because prices will go up. Businesses will go out of, will have to close. So, but this is all part of what? The Great Reset. Okay, just like the pandemic was used for the Great Reset. So they're going to use this whole thing with this, war in the Ukraine for their purpose. They all work together, of course, right? You cannot say that these things are isolated. It is their plan to reset. It's their plan to establish a digital currency, and you know that the United States is working on that. Biden has already signed an amendment, and people are working right now together to transition us into a digital currency. I mean, all agencies were called to work together, come up with their plan to transition us to a paperless or digital currency. That's not something that I make up. It's something that is coming from Biden directly from our government. That's their plan. So maybe they're starting with Germany. They're going to crush Europe first. I say Germany because I'm so tied to Germany, but Europe is dependent on Germany. So when the European economy falls, everything will fall, all of Europe, because Germany is carrying really the rest, except maybe France is carrying the rest of the European countries. So anyways, that's what's going on right now. And so then we are thinking, of course, there's this big debate. Who did it? Well, with all the information that I just gave you, maybe it's easier to understand who did it. Who had an interest in exploding this pipeline or to bomb this pipeline. It was not done naturally, we know that, because it would have taken too much explosion. And so now, who had access to that area? Well, it's really, the access is more with the NATO countries than with Russia. And nobody said, oh, we saw some Russian planes or Russian U-boats or anything, because they have everything. They watch everything. But somebody said, oh, there was a military plane, of course, a NATO military plane, U.S. military plane in the area during that time. And for me, again, the U.S. the NATO has more reason to bomb that pipeline, because they didn't want to have it for years now. It's in their interest. It's not in the interest of Putin, who controls it. He can turn it off anytime he wants. He can say, no, we're not giving you guys any gas. But see, Putin is also using it for leverage. He's saying when you drop the sanctions, and that's what Putin did just before the explosion, he said, when you drop these sanctions, we will open the gas more. So it's in really Putin's interest, of course, that it's not being damaged. Eventually, hopefully he's thinking the war will be over and we will, supply gas to Germany again. But this way they can't. If it's exploded, well, they can fix it. But they already said once the salt water gets inside, it's very hard to remove it, and the salt water will destroy the pipeline. I don't know, but that's what they're saying. So yeah, think about it. Who has an interest? Who has really a major interest in bringing about, this, whatever happened? And of course, you know what, people? I really believe that's what my opinion is, and collecting all the information, all the facts. It's pointing towards NATO. I don't want to say the United States, because it could be, of course, it could come from the United States, but any of the countries could have been involved in it. Any of the NATO countries could have been involved in, exploding it, like Ukraine could have done it. But see, what now does that have to do with end times? That is the big problem. Why am I even bringing this up? This is just something, okay, that's again keeping this war going. That's really what it is. There's no peace in time when they're doing stuff like that. If I'm saying, the NATO was doing that, they have no interest in even thinking about a peace treaty. They don't. They want their way, and they think, like so many other people, NATO will win anyways. That's what they think. Now, what does prophecy say? We don't have a specific prophecy pertaining Europe. There's no such prophecy. And yet, when we look at Revelation 16, when we look at this last battle, which is the result of the Third World War. I don't think there's going to be a Fourth World War, because Jesus is so close to returning. He didn't come this year. That makes it even more possible that he's coming next year. Every year is a more possibility, a bigger possibility that he's coming, right? Instead of saying, oh, he hasn't come before, well, what makes you think he's coming this year? No. Every year is a higher possibility. So, yeah, we're very close at the end, people. When we're looking at the things that are happening, the Third World War will end this world system. And of course, what is at the end of the Third World War that will end everything, the last battle? That is Armageddon. And that Armageddon we see in Revelation 16. That's in the sixth bowl of God's wrath. That's the last battle. And we can know the players in that last battle. The players are the kings of the East. That is not Russia. Okay, the kings of the East is not Russia. And then we see the beast and the false prophet there. Okay, look it up. I don't even have to read it to you. You can read it yourself. If you have never read it, read it. If you're familiar, then you know it's the kings of the East and the beast and the false prophet. The false prophet is the beast out of the earth. Okay, the two beasts in Revelation 13. And both beasts are political system, and I'm already told you why in the world that these two political systems are NATO. Both of them together. Because the first beast out of the sea is Europe, and the second beast out of the earth is the United States. And both together are the NATO. That is the NATO bloc. It's the Western bloc. It's Empire USA. And Empire USA is there going against the kings of the East. Now, why is Russia not mentioned in that battle? And I'm talking about Russia as maybe the kings from the north. Okay? Why is he not mentioned? Well, that's because I believe that Russia will be destroyed before that final battle. He may still be an ally to China, but I think he will not be a major player in that last battle. Because I have told you so many times that I believe that Russia will attack Germany. That is not, or Europe. That is not in the Bible. But I'm getting that from a seer called Jeremiah. And I don't give too much, I don't follow too much any seers at all, except this guy just really, I just confirm what he says, that I believe that Russia will try to invade, or not try, I think it will be successful to invade Europe all the way to the Rhine River. That's what I just believe that. I see that it's going to come. Again, because I don't see Russia in this last battle. And therefore I believe that they, the Allies, have defeated Russia in Europe. Okay? And there needs to be a reason for Russia to attack. And there also needs to be a reason that Russia will come all the way to the Rhine River, and then the Allies or the NATO will totally finish up Russia. Okay? But in this process, they also will really destroy Germany. Now, if you know this message from Jeremiah, what he foresaw, he believes that Russia comes all the way to the Rhine River, and then NATO will throw little packages on Germany, and they are, it looks like it's biological warfare. And so that's what I can see I can really see that this may happen. Yeah, in my gut, I can actually see it. There's other people that were Christians that prophesied this war as well. And yeah, that is exactly what we're looking at right now. These things happening, okay? These different things. And I think this pipeline is just one more thing to add to Putin to stir him up more. Because the United States has stirred up Russia now for years. For years. He told them for years not to move towards the east, towards their borders. Okay? And the NATO has not listened to Russia once. They kept taking in every country, one country after another, that used to be belonged to the Soviet Union. One country after another. Ukraine was the last country before the border that NATO wants to take over. Oh, they're saying, they want to do this on their free will. But I'm not quite sure, really if that was free will or if I know it was a staged coup. Okay, in Ukraine in 2013. I know that. Okay, so the political system that they have today is put in by the U.S. We know that. So they did do something so the population, goes along with this going into the NATO thing or joining the European Union. But Russia said, when the wall fell in Germany, that the United States and the NATO cannot move further east. And of course, they didn't listen. And so Putin had to endure quite a lot of things, a lot of sanctions from the United States. Do you remember that sanction on the oil? Okay, on the oil, not a couple of years ago, when the oil was, what was it? The oil was extremely cheap at that one time. And there's a lot of things that they did so they would harm the economy of Russia and bring Russia down. And so, they have been really in this Cold War for a long time. There's no doubt in my mind, people. But no doubt, they have been doing it, period. So this is just one more thing to add to this bullying of Putin. Okay? And I'm not saying Putin is innocent. I'm not saying that. But I just have seen a lot of aggression coming from the United States and not necessarily from Russia. So now, how long will it take, Russia to just say, finally, they had it? And again, the next thing that happens is we're going to have a lot more demonstration in Germany because of this lack of energy and the prices for energy rising. People will get upset. They're already starting to go and riot on the street. Demonstrations right now, but when will it turn into riots? Okay? When will it turn into riots? And even that Elmaya said would happen. People will go on the streets, okay, and demonstrate. So that will happen, people. We'll see. We can see that we have another year left because I believe, of course, that Jesus will only return on the Feast of Trumpets because that's prophesied. That's just part of what God has put in place. So now we have a whole year that we can observe what's going on. Now you know what comes after the rapture. There comes the wrath of God, and we will not be in the wrath. But right now, Satan is preparing for the wrath. This whole thing that people think that the Antichrist someday will come during the 7 years is a bunch of nonsense. Okay? Because right now, Satan is using the man of sin and the beast to establish his kingdom. What will happen after the rapture is the wrath of God. And the wrath of God will destroy the system. That's what the wrath of God is all about. To destroy the system, to destroy the beast. The beast, people. And that's NATO. And to destroy destroy the man of sin. That is the purpose of the wrath of God. And that will happen as soon as the rapture happens. So Satan has to do all what he needs to do before the rapture, not after. Okay? He is now deceiving the people, so there will be less people being raptured. He is now destroying humankind because he knows that once the rapture happens and the wrath starts, God will intervene and just kick butts, okay? And he is going to really, 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 really destroy his enemies. I mean, when you read about the wrath of God, Revelation 16, you know what's going to happen. Not too much humankind will survive it. So, yeah, people, I just kind of wanted to talk about this Nord Stream or North Stream, these pipelines, because we're talking about it right now. I mean, people talk about it. Who did it? Who did it? I guarantee it really doesn't matter because they are both kind of horrible. But eventually, maybe it could be a last straw for Russia. I don't know. Now they have no leverage. When will they have the last straw? And they will not only take over and finish up Ukraine. Right now, they don't want to do that. Right now, they still want a peaceful solution to this. And I know people don't think so, but I do. But there will be a time when they are done with peaceful solutions. And when they're done with peaceful solutions, they're not going to stop with the Ukraine. I'll guarantee you that. They will not stop with the countries that used to belong to the Soviet Union. They will not stop with that either. Okay? They will go for everything. They will go for it. And yeah, I think they will make it to the Rhine River. I think they will. And they will not have a hard time. If things continue like that, they will not have a hard time making it to the Rhine River. Because by that time, people will be so sick of this energy crisis, energy crap, that they're willing to say, I'm done with it. I'm just so done with it. I mean, if you take, energy, heat, and food away from people and they have to struggle after they lived in luxury, they may be doing quite a lot of things they would have not done before. So think about that. Because Germany has lived in luxury, people. A lot more luxury than the ordinary people in Germany, right? The ordinary people in Germany. They have lived in way more luxury than the United States. The ordinary people could go on vacation, 3 times a year because their employer paid for it. The employer paid for sick leave, not just a couple of days that you had to collect. They had it good. They had it very good. And you just rip that away from somebody, they're going to go on the streets and they will demonstrate. Yeah, they will rebel when you take it away. It's not like, oh, I don't have very much anyways, and so I'm going to take a little bit more away from it. People can handle that. When you live in luxury and you just take it all away, it's a different story. So I foresee these things happening. And this explosion can actually add to that even more. But people, I'm coming to an end. I just wanted to talk about it really brief and talk about how it could have a connection to end times prophecy and how we can see maybe signs that Jesus will be returning soon. Now, soon means next year. That's how soon. He's not going to come between now and next year in September. Okay, he will not. Now, you can die and go and be with the Lord. That will happen. That can happen between now and next year. But the actual return of Jesus will be on the Feast of Trumpet. That's the way it is. It's set on the Feast of Trumpets. So, I'm coming to an end. Let the Holy Spirit guide you always.